It's time to start playing one of my favorite game series of all time, Castlevania. And what a great place to start. At the beginning, the very first one, the original Castlevania for the NES. I love this game. Many people consider it a classic, and I agree. I simply love it. It gets a lot of criticism for its controls, but I don't find it that bad. But I'll describe a little bit about that in a little bit. So in Castlevania, you control Simon Belmont, one of the coolest video game characters of all time. Might I add right there. You wield the Vampire Killer, which is a whip. It starts out as a leather whip, but with 2 whip upgrades, you can make it into a giant chain whip. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's a great weapon. You can swing it very fast, and when it's fully upgraded, it has a great range. Your goal in this game is to destroy the evil Count Dracula with the aid of some weapons at your disposal, referred to as sub-weapons. There are a variety of sub-weapons. The first one is the knife. It is a simple projectile attack. Very basic. It's not bad, but it's not great either. The second one is the axe. The axe is pretty good. It has a upwards arc. It's great for taking out airborne enemies, as well as the first boss in the game. And if you watched my Castlevania No Damage Boss Rush, then you should know that the axe is a fantastic sub-weapon to use for the first boss. The next sub-weapon is the cross. The cross is a great sub-weapon. Actually, no, it's referred to as the boomerang in this game. It goes in a typical boomerang motion. You shoot it out and then it comes back to you. It's very powerful. I recommend you get it. Every time you see it, grab the cross, because it is a fantastic sub-weapon. The one I'm using right now is the stopwatch, and it stops time, which is pretty good. It even works on some bosses, like the first one we're doing right here. And I just realized that I did this without taking damage. I could have included this footage in the No Damage Boss Rush. I did record this way before I started the No Damage Boss Rush. And if you're a hardcore UAA fan, you may notice that the transitional footage is in fact the same footage that appeared in the Castlevania No Damage Boss Rush. But the final sub-weapon, which is the best one by far, is the Holy Water. Actually referred to as the Firebomb in this game, but pretty much every other game in the series, it is referred to as the Holy Water. And the Holy Water is simply fantastic. You throw it at an enemy, it stops them dead in their tracks, and they can't move. And it also deals massive damage. It is simply amazing. There's a reason I banned it in the Castlevania No Damage Boss Rush. It's just too powerful. It's way too good compared to all the other sub-weapons, which is why I banned it. You'll see why it's way too powerful, because I use it on a lot of the bosses. In fact, all of them. I think all of them. I'm not sure if I use it on Dracula, but I'm pretty sure I use it on every other every other boss. There we go, I got it out. It's really good. Whenever you see it, pick it up. If you have a cross, get rid of it. If you have a stopwatch, get rid of it. Always, always, always pick up the Holy Water. The main complaint I hear about the original Castlevania is the control. A lot of people say it's really stiff, and I can agree with that, but I think that's what makes the game. If we didn't have the stiff control, I wouldn't enjoy this game as much. It really adds a challenge. The biggest problem people have with the control is the jumping. Once you start jumping, you can't change direction in midair. In video games nowadays, we're just so used to, jumping in the air and changing our direction. And even in older games like Mario and stuff like that, you can change direction in midair. And that is just incredibly unrealistic. You can't change direction in midair. Or at least I can't. Can you? No, I know I can't. So maybe they were trying to go for a more realistic approach, but I don't know. And here's our second boss in the game. It is Medusa. Guess what I do? Yay, holy water! See what the holy water does to bosses? They can't move, it does massive damage. I could have used that for the Castlevania no damage boss rush, but I was using the holy water, and the holy water was banned. I'm not sure, I think I banned the stopwatch. That's probably why I didn't use that footage. Yeah, I think I did ban the stopwatch. Yeah, okay, yeah, I did ban the stopwatch. That's why I didn't use that footage from earlier. So as I was saying, the jumping, people don't like it. You can't change direction in midair. I don't mind it. A lot of people seem to have a problem with it. I don't. I think it's okay. And it's not like Konami couldn't program midair jumping controls, because in Castlevania 3, one of the other playable characters had they had the ability to change direction in midair. We'll be getting to Castlevania 3 a little bit later on, but I wanted to start with the first one. The first, and not the best one. Although, I'm not sure which game is better on the NES, Castlevania 1 or Castlevania 3. They're both simply fantastic, and they both have their benefits. I'm not sure, but I guess I'll answer that question in the Castlevania 3 playthrough coming up in the following months. A lot of people seem to absolutely love this song, and it's a song I see, it has a lot of remixes on YouTube. I like this song, it's definitely a good song, but a lot of people seem to think it's the best song in the game, or one of the best songs in the game, and I don't see it. I don't know. I personally think Vampire Killer and Heart of Fire are much better tracks than this one. Vampire Killer was the song in the first stage, and Heart of Fire is the one we'll be seeing in stage number 5, which I believe is in the next video. I'll point it out. This stage, it really annoys me. There's a lot of crows that get in your way and they knock you back. Speaking of knockback, that's the other issue people have with this game. Whenever you get hit, you seem to get knocked back at least 4 to 5 feet. It's really annoying because you always seem to gravitate to your nearest pit. Whenever you fall into a pit or a hole or anything like that, it's instant death. And whenever you die, you lose your whip upgrades, you lose your sub-weapon, which in this case would be devastating to me. And the knockback, it's really the main difficulty with all the earlier Castlevania games. It's not really a problem in some of the more recent titles, like the ones on the DS, but the NES ones and Super Castlevania 4, it's really an issue, and it makes the games a lot harder than they should be. But I like a fair challenge. A fair challenge is good. But a lot of people get turned off because of this knockback. They think the game is just being unfair with them, and I can see why, but I kind of disagree. I don't think this game is too bad. And for that boss, I just threw more holy water. Again. To tell you the truth, I was trying to do a no-death run. If I did complete it, I was going to upload this as a challenge, calling it the Castlevania no-death run. Unfortunately, I die at the last stage of the game. It's a pretty cheap death, you'll see. Or maybe it isn't, I don't remember how I died. I'm pretty sure I know, but I don't quite remember. And then I die one more time on purpose because I wanted to go fight Dracula with full health. Whenever you die, your health is replenished. It may look like you have a lot of health, but trust me, that health bar does not represent a lot of health. It is typically 4 to 5 hits and then you die. So yeah. It may look like you have a giant health bar, but you don't. And for some reason, it always shows the health bar of the boss, even when you're going through the level. It's a touch I always thought was cool. I really like it. And they've stopped doing it in later games. I think they stopped doing it in... Oh god, I don't know. Maybe I don't know, did they do it in Bloodlines? I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it stopped on the N64 titles. Both of which I haven't played because they just look awful. And I don't want to play them. Maybe I'll play them eventually, but I'm really not into the 3D Castlevanias. I'm more of a 2D Castlevania kind of guy. None of the 3D games have been any good, Although I hear the most recent one, what's it called? Lords of Shadows, I think? Something like that. I heard that one wasn't too bad. Maybe I'll try that one someday, but for now, I'm gonna stick to my 2D Castlevanias because that's where this game excels. And stage 4, it's in the catacombs or in the cave, whatever you want to call it. It's not that bad of a stage. Definitely not as hard as stage 3, except for this dragon right here. And these dragons, they haunt me. They really do. They're the hardest enemy in practically every Castlevania game. Oh, and here's the stage 4 boss. It is the monster, also known as the Frankenstein monster. And guess what I do? I throw more holy water. I'll see you in part number 2, the final part of Castlevania. Yes, it is only 2 parts long. Until next time, this is UAA signing out. I'll see you guys later.